Hello everyone and welcome back. This is boss number 4 of the Black Temple, Teron Gorefiend. That's this guy. Let's just get into it. So this is Teron Gorefiend. He is essentially a tank and spank boss with a lot of one very important gimmicky part to it. So don't be bogged down by all of these abilities. It all comes down to really one main mechanic. So let's talk about the main mechanic. If you follow this link, you'll be taken to a Flash player game that you can practice the construct. What I mean by construct is the boss will put a debuff on a random person of the raid, and after 60 seconds, that person will die. Where they die, they will summon a bunch of constructs that need to be killed. However, those constructs can only be killed by a ghost. The person who died with that debuff will turn into a ghost and will have a whole new set of abilities to try and kill those constructs with. You need to know how to kill these constructs. I'm going to repeat it. Every person in the raid needs to know how to do this, or else it will be a wipe. It is not intuitive. Your add-on setup may make it harder on you. So what I suggest is every single person in this raid and in any other raid, go to this Flash player game, do it a couple times, try to do it while clicking the abilities, because based on your add-on setup, it may not be the add-on, or it may not have the key bindings that you want it to have. Please, 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 everyone, it only takes a few minutes. Put your time into it, and it will save hours of wiping on this boss. I've seen many people on the PTR, when they were testing this, wipe because people did not know how to do this, or they said, my key bindings don't work. It will come up on a pet bar. So if you have bartender or some other keybinder add-on, you need to make sure that your pet bar is visible, you know where it's at, and you know how to click the abilities on it. There is no excuse that my keybinds did not work on this boss. There is no excuse. Alright. That out of the way, I will, at the end, show you how to play this minigame and how it works. But this is very important. If one person does not do this, it can wipe the entire raid and waste everyone else's time. And I hope that every single person who is in a raiding guild would value the time of their 24 other members to be willing to put 3 minutes into something and test it out and try it before you get there. So, moving on with the boss. We will tank the boss as close to the back of the room as possible. The tank will face him away from the wall, so the tank will be just pointing him towards the room. Everyone else will stack on the back of the wall. The reason why we stack back there is to give the shadows more time, or give the shadowy people more time to kill the constructs before they reach raid numbers and start hitting people. So everyone just stack back there. I've seen online that there might be an argument that it doesn't even matter and they just run to the boss. I don't really know. Either way, this strategy works. We're doing it this way. Just do it this way. Other than that, the main mechanic is when he gets the debuff put on you, it lasts for 60 seconds, 15 to 20 seconds before your debuff wears off. You need to run your body over to either X or triangle, does not matter where. The point is that you are running as far away from the boss as possible before you die. Once you die, those shadowy constructs will spawn right there, and you will have to go through the rotation to kill them before they reach the raid. And that's it. Everything else is just Tink and Spike. He has a few other mechanics that we'll go over, but that's really it. So, like I said, not much else to say. It's really just that. Teron hits very, very hard. Healers need to be ready to spam the tanks. He crits for a ton. We will also make sure that we have a plate wearer tanking Teron. I saw on 2 different groups where bear tanks tried to tank Teron, and they were getting crit for 10 to 15k each melee. Like, they were just getting crushed. So let a plate wearer take it, and they're still going to get hit hard, but they're not going to get hit for quite that much. For some reason, he just destroys bears, so we're not even going to deal with the bear. This really is all about a threat fight, because it's just a pure tank and spank, but it's also a DPS race, because people are going to keep dying every 60 seconds, and sooner or later we'll just run out of people. Also, there is an Incinerate debuff that goes out that healers need to dispel. Also, one little tip for making it a little bit better is Locks can Soulstone a person after they see that they have the debuff. So Locks, do not use your Soulstones before this fight. Save them. Once you see someone gets a debuff, you will cast your Soulstone on that person. Then when they run out of the raid, when they go to X or triangle, they can do their construct thing, and once their construct ends, they can take their Soulstone and be back in the fight. Okay. Other thing to notice is if the person dies on the way out, they will still spawn the shadowy constructs. So healers, make sure to top up the person with the debuff before they run out, because obviously they're going to be outside of range of healers when they get out here. And there is random shadow damage that just goes out to people throughout the fight and slowly ramps up. Also, you cannot immune the debuff. So Pallies with Divine Shields and Ice Blocks, do not try to immune it. Do not think you can keep it in the raid and immune it. It will kill you through the immunity. That being said, there is a very special mechanic where when he turns and casts the debuff on you, if you have an ability like Vanish, Feign, Divine Shield, or Ice Block, if you cast it, or if he is casting the debuff on you, and you are quick enough to Vanish or Feign before the cast goes off, then you will not get the debuff, you will not die, and shadowy constructs will not spawn. So as much as possible, try to get this if you are a rogue, hunter, pally, or mage. It's not the end of the world if you don't, then you just have to play the fight normally, but that is something that you should be trying to do if at all possible. Finally, for the constructs, one little note that I will make clear in a few minutes here is make sure you spread out your Ice Lances. There is an Ice Lance ability. It has a stacking slow on targets. It maxes out at 3 stacks. Do not let the stacks fall off on any of them. You have to slow the constructs down because they are slowly working their way towards the raid, and you want to keep them as slowed for as long as possible. So keep targeting. The main strategy is to hit one with an Ice Lance, tab target, hit the other, tab target, hit the other. It's very easy to use the tab target because you're going to have to constantly reposition yourself as well as target new things, and you may be clicking your abilities, so targeting the new souls will be very difficult. So the very, very simple spell order is that you're going to use the number 5, the number 4, the number 3, tab 3, tab 3, tab 3, tab, until your 5 comes back on off of cooldown, and then you'll repeat this pattern. Burn this pattern into your brain, and you'll be totally fine. So, and here's just a more detailed explanation if anyone wants to read up on that. So, here is what the minigame looks like. Here is the spellbook. You have a couple of other abilities, but really the ones that really matter are 3, which is Spirit Lance. It does damage, and it slows, and it stacks up to 3 times. If you get 3 stacks on them, they will start moving very, very slowly. You have 4, which is just an AoE Nova, Frost Nova, that just roots them in place for a couple seconds, but any damage will break them. And you also have a Spirit Volley, which is a high damage AoE. So, the reason why I said before the strategy is 5, 4, 3 tab, 3 tab, is that you want to hit them with the highest damaging AoE ability that will hurt all of the construct at the same time. Then you want to Nova them in place. Do not Nova them in place first, because then you will immediately break it when you Spirit Volley. And you want to be using Spirit Volley on cooldown. So, Spirit Volley first, then Chains, then start Ice Lancing. If at all possible, try to Ice Lance the things in the back first, so they break, so you can keep them more stacked. But ultimately, if you just keep hitting tab and Ice Lance, you'll be fine. The other abilities to know about are, you have Spirit Strike. If you get in melee, you can only use this on the boss himself, so it can only be used on Teron. However, most of your time is going to be spent killing the constructs anyway. If you have extra time and there's nothing else to do, then you can hit the boss with Spirit Strike. But more than likely, if when you are done, by the time you are done, there will be another set of constructs out. So then you can use the extra time you have and a ghost to help your other raiders out and start killing their ghosts for them, or start helping kill their ghosts. Finally, you have a Spirit Shield. You can place on a friendly target, place on healers, or place on the tank, place on anyone. Doesn't really matter. You shouldn't need to be using this, but it's something you can do if you have nothing else to do. So, finally, let's start this up. When you play the minigame, you will move with WASD, just like you would in the game. This is just a top-down view, and I will be one small little dot, as if, we're looking at a mini-map. So what you'll see here is I am this dot right here. I am moving down and into the corner. Here is the time on my debuff. It is going to end in 5 seconds. As soon as these spawn, I'm going to cast my Frost or my AoE. I'm going to Nova them. I'm going to target the back one. I'm going to tab and just start tab Ice Lancing until I have them all hurt. And now my AoE is up. I'm going to Nova again. I'm going to tab and keep hitting them. And that is it. That is the entire fight. I'm going to play it one more time just to see. I screwed up a bunch of times there. As you can see, I let a couple of the debuffs fall off. It is fine. But while trying to speak and click the buttons rather than using my keybinds, it makes it a lot harder. As you can see, this is what's going to look like on your pet bars. So it's going to look like number 1 is going to be that Spirit Strike, 3 is going to be your Ice Lance, 4 is going to be the Cone of Cold, or the Frost Nova, 5 is going to be the AoE damage, and 7 is going to be that shield. So just to play it one more time, so everyone's very clear, you have the debuff, you can run it to either the right or the left corner, it does not matter. As soon as it ends, you will hit them with the AoE, then the Nova, target, hit them with the Ice Lance, tab, 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 and so on. Once the AoE comes back up, you hit them with the AoE, you Nova them again, and Ice Lance, tab, Ice Lance, tab. And at this point, if you've done it correctly, just like I just did here, you should be able to kill them all within 2 or 3 more Ice Lances. And that's the game. If you have any other questions, please let me know. If you're having trouble beating this, please let me know. Other than that, if people get this down, and only this, If every single person in the raid spends 2 minutes doing this, then we will be totally fine, and it's going to be free loot. So that's it, and I will see you all in the next one.